All right, welcome to Trendwave on Breakfast Central. Nigeria's Plateau State Police Command has arrested one Albarka Sukuya, a pastor who conspired with his gang to kidnap himself not less than 2 times, collecting ransom from his sympathetic church members for his release. Now, the Police Public Relations Officer (PPR) of the State Police Command, DSP Alfred Alabo, made this known on Wednesday in the state capital of Jos. According to DSP Alfred Alabo, the man of God was brought in for questioning following his spurious kidnaps on November 14 and 15, 2022, which triggered suspicions that 400,000 naira and 200,000 naira were paid respectively by his sympathizers as a ransom for his release. However, he has confessed to committing this crime and has disclosed the identity of 3 other members of his self-kidnapping gang, 2 of whom have now been arrested, while the remaining person is on the run. Let's see the reactions to this story on socials. Hilary David says, "What are pastors turning into just for the love of money? May God have mercy upon them." More reactions to this story on social media. Bibi has this to say. Bibi says it should remain in prison and the keys thrown to the deepest of the ocean. Thanks to our boys who make us proud all the time. That, according to Bibi. Felix says people like him are the most vocal in pointing out how insecure the country is. Interesting. Jumai says, who is to be trusted now? I mean, if you can't trust pastors, then who do we trust? Trust God. Let's see more reactions to this story. Ben has this to say. Ben says the best punishment for this act is to hand him over to the best of the bandits for proper kidnapping. Now we move on, but still in Nigeria, a Twitter post has been a subject of controversy as one popular user, simply identified as Jasmine, took to his Twitter page to propose a 4-month internship program to any woman he would get married to. According to him, he said he's quite selective with his food consumption and would need his wife to know his preferences, and that any woman that is not ready to learn from his mother or sister cannot become his wife. Now, that's the tweet according to Mazi Ifeanyi. Mazi Ifeanyi says, "I'm quite selective when it comes to the food I eat. Any woman I would marry would have to go stay with my mom or sister for like 4 months to learn how to prepare my food and know my preferences. Any woman who isn't ready to learn from my mom can't be my wife." He also went on to say that these are the reasons marriages of old last longer than modern days. Now, women, according to him, women treat their kings and worship them. Well, is there a point in this? Well, I don't know, but let's see how the Twitter spectators are reacting to this story. That comment from Richie. Richie says, "But this guy is actually saying my mind. No one makes egusi the way my mom and my sister does it. I've tried it. It just doesn't work." That's according to Richie. The Food Network Nigeria says, "More like send a paid maid to your mom to learn how to cook your food since your hand is paining you." That's a sarcastic comment, by the way. And it says, "The way some men think marriage is an escape from personal errands and chores, to some woman hikes the hell out of me. It's the woman that agrees to marry this kind of men I blame." And she went on to say that Sha know that there are men who will treat you like the queen you are out there. Settle for less at your own detriment. That's according to the Food Network. Dr. Pen King says, "Better stay with her first to know whether you'll be able to cope with her. Does she flush the toilet after use? Does she leave or use sanitary pads in the kitchen? These are the real deep issues." And that's according to Dr. Pen King. More reactions to this story. Soft Babe says, "If I marry outside my culture, I'm willing to learn that there is no problem in that." That's according to Soft Babe. And that's how people are reacting to this story. Imagine having to go for internship, because that's what I would call it, going for internship before getting married to a guy. I mean, there has to be something really special, because if you can't just take the food the lady can cook, or even work on yourself, like how about you also learning to make these meals for yourself and also being the one that is, you know, making these tasty meals for the lady. That's what I'm thinking. Osaroge Olive, this is why I bring you in, Osaroge Olive.
I was going to ask why you always come to me first.
I said Olive. If a man.
But you today, you have to be.
All right. So let me. Listen, I don't think I will have time to say all the things I want to say, but I'm going to say as much of it as I can. So first of all, you know, social media is a place where people have conversations on things that they have zero experience on. You would realize that married people have the people who make these comments, a lot of them, are single.
They are not in a relationship.
You would never find a married person going on social media to say all this nonsense, because
no, there is
truly,
actually. There are many of them.
Yeah, but it's not the norm.
So the people who are married and have truly experienced marriage would not get themselves involved in this kind of conversation because they know what the real deal is when you get in there. So a lot of times when I see these things, I mostly just, keep it moving. I don't bother myself. That's one thing. And another thing is, accepting that individuals have different things that they place, with an order of priority when it comes to marriage. Some people want their foods kept cooked in a certain way. Some people place the, priority on sex, pretty highly. Some people place, tribe, religion, different things. And maybe for this particular person, he wants his food cooked in that particular way, which is fine.
Good
it's
luck
not
to
a problem. But as long as he's not forcing it on anybody, and whoever it is that chooses to marry him doesn't see it as him being forceful or, him being abusive in any way. Because this is one step. He has talked about food now. He's going to have other things. This is really just one thing he's mentioned. I'm sure there's going to be 10 or 12 other things that he would place as requirements that would make it seeming, he would eventually turn out to be an abuser if we're not careful. But good luck to him and whoever it is that he eventually gets married to.
In addition to what Osage has said, the best way to find that kind of woman, he needs to organize a reality TV show. Who wants to be a wife? And get a few women to audition, and then he can pick a woman there who would then win the grand prize of marrying him and go on internship in his mother and his sister's house. What a great move. Thank you very much, Liz, for sharing with us the updates on what's happening in the web space, the World Wide Web. See you around.
Always a pleasure.
All right.